Metaverse land crashing 85%. If you're new to the channel, hit the bell, like, subscribe, help us out with the algorithm. If you're a returner, thank you. So the Metaverse housing bubble is bursting and the virtual land prices are crashing 85% amid waning interest. So I'll tell you a couple things. Ever heard of Roblox? Kids drive their parents crazy. I'm a victim of this. The interest may be waning, but it's waning and fleeting temporarily. So let's just say that if you think the metaverse is the next best, greatest thing, now, in my opinion, would be the time for you to figure out what to buy and start buying, because you're likely at all-time lows, likely never to be seen again, hypothetically, in my opinion, not investment advice. Anyhow, the metaverse sector is witnessing its very own housing crisis moment thanks to massive declines in the prices of its virtual lands in 2022, led by waning users' interest and a crypto bear market. Land sales plunge 85% in 2022. In particular, metaverse projects built on the Ethereum blockchain, including the Sandbox and Decentraland, have witnessed substantial declines in their valuations and other key metrics, says the data from Meta. For instance, the average price of land sold across Decentraland peaked at $37,238 in February 2022. But as of August 1st, their costs had dropped to an average of $5,163. You know, it's a good chunk of change. 32 G's, not bad. Big drop. Similarly, the Sandbox's average sale price dropped from circa $35,000 in January to around $2,800. Imagine people that thought they were getting a good deal and bought 10 or 20 of those properties and got clipped for a nice chunk of change. Overall, the average price per parcel of virtual lands across the 6 major Ethereum metaverse projects dropped from approximately $17,000 in January to around $2,500 in August, or an 85% decline. Now look, NFTs that are useless, like the ones that are just overpriced JPEGs that have no real value because they don't let you into anything or provide you a membership to anything or prove that this is an original work that was originally worth a lot of money and that you somehow now have a copy of it. So the ones that don't have utility, because I don't think all NFTs or use of them is trash, but a good portion of it is, not the ones that have utility. So poor land volumes further indicate dampening user interest in the metaverse projects. So of the two, I would say that long term, the metaverse will probably make as much, if not more money than NFTs, no matter how good the usability is for either. On a weekly average, again, my opinion, not investment advice. So on a weekly average, the volume, which represents the amount of lands derived in currency traded, has dropped from its peak to 1 billion in November 2021 to approximately 157 million in August 2022. Simultaneously, the market valuations of the metaverse tokens in circulation have dipped by more than 80%, led further by a broader retreat across the cryptocurrency sector to unfavorable macroeconomic conditions. So what do you guys think? Do you think the metaverse is going to be worth more as an investment, or that NFTs will, or that it'll be a tie? What do you think is going to happen? Comment down below. Let me know. I'm curious to see what you think. For instance, the market valuation of Decentraland's Mana tokens in circulation dropped from 10 billion in November 2021 to 2 billion in August 2022. Similarly, Sandbox's Sand capitalization reached 8.4 billion to around 1.78 billion in the same period. Got somebody here tweeting, freaking metaverse housing bubble just popped. Who would have thought? Did you ever think you'd read something like so crazy as metaverse housing bubble and then popped, like it's a real thing? But you know what? It's a real thing. Check that out. So anyway, nonetheless, corporations, venture capital funds, and private equity investors pour over 127 billion into the metaverse sector between January and May 2022. More than double the 57 billion invested in all of 2021, according to a recent McKinsey report. Despite the decline in the metaverse market, however, McKinsey believes the space can become a $5 trillion sector by 2030, noting that e-commerce will likely realize a market impact between 2 trillion and 2.6 trillion alone, followed by the academic virtual learning sector, which could have an impact of 180 billion to 270 billion, 100%. The views and opinions expressed here are solely those of the author and do not necessarily reflect the views of Cointelegraph. I don't have to share my source and announce it because it just got announced, but I always share my sources, so it doesn't matter. So look, the truth of the matter is, since the early days, entertainment has been king. Before the internet was created, before it even existed for common folk, the number one thing that got eyeballs was entertainment. It was kid shows, it was comic books, it was sporting events, it was movies, plays, theater, anything that now or in the future can provide entertainment, especially entertainment that's interactive, like the metaverse, or used correctly, NFTs for entertainment, they are always going to be a good investment. The trick, of course, like anything else, is to figure out what to jump into early and what is just going to rip you off. And for that, you need business acumen, you need to be sharp, you need to be able to pick off a trend, and even people that are worth some of the biggest amounts of money have gotten ripped off in crypto, Mark Cuban to name one, but there's more than one, there's many. Nothing is a guarantee is what I'm saying. So if you think that you're going to go in there and you're going to say, well, I know that this is this and that's going to be good and that's not, and you just buy in just because you think so, and you don't do your homework, I guarantee you're going to get slaughtered. But if you do your homework, or listen, it's if people that are sharp, that know what they're doing, can lose money, what's going to happen to people that are not that highly versed in these types of situations? Now, obviously, if you have somebody on the inside, some kind of connection, then that's different. You don't need to know too much if you know the horse that you're betting on, because if you bet on the right horse and that horse is in charge of the reins, then what I just said goes out the window. But for most people, they don't have that luck. They are not as fortunate to be positioned in the way that is required in order for them to enjoy the benefits and have the odds be very high that they're going to be in a situation where they're going to get what they want. So what am I saying? Don't jump, don't run, don't speed. Make sure, unless you have an out of the ordinary situation, that you know exactly what's going on as best as you can, and never, ever, 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 ever put in more than you can afford to lose. Hope this finds you well.